So.
Okay, where are you at so far?
So we have kind of jumped all over the place. We kind of went through the history of floral design and started labeling some flowers for flower ID. And then I have a couple of kids who did not want to do flowers at all. So they're in the shop building horseshoe pumpkins right now. And I'm like, you know what? If you want, because they were like, we don't want to work, like, we don't like flowers. I'm like, well, make some sculptures out of the horseshoes or metal or whatever. Because they wanted to be in welding, not this class. I was like, you know
Right,
what? We'll make it work. So
right.
they made really cute pumpkins, though. Oh, I don't know. They got put somewhere. I don't know where they got put. Oh, they're on my shelf, but let me see if I pull them up on my picture. So, like, here's one that we designed. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, that's cute. I like it.
So I'm like, they're simple and they're pretty. And then we have some of these others that we're going to try to sell at the fall foliage in Canadian.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, totally awesome. I love it.
so it was all free and donated and whatnot. So I was like, we'll make it work. And our budget is pretty small. So, oh, and we made mums. That was the other thing we did.
Yay, look at
So,
you.
but other than that, I'm like, I have no idea.
Okay. Um, so have you found the teaks or anything yet?
Yes, and I've kind of used ICEV a little bit, and then I also purchased some stuff off of Teachers Pay Teachers.
Okay.
So
Okay. Um, have you decided if you're gonna test?
I don't have a certification for that. So this is I don't know. What do we need to do? Because
Okay.
can I teach that, or is it one that I haul down to Lubbock and they test on their own?
You can do either.
Okay.
So you don't have to be certified for it. They offer the teacher certification just to help bump your credentials. Like if the kids are like, well, you don't have the certification, and just
Right.
to help you make sure that you're teaching it correctly and things like that. Um, somebody on that deal I sent out the other day was asking if I could host like a practice session
Okay.
for certification. So I'm looking at possibly doing something like that. I don't have details on that yet, but I will soon. But that would probably be here in Lubbock for just a practice. And then like I'd walk them through it and then we may do like a practice test. And I don't need to make, it's not a fundraiser. That's not the point of it. So it would probably just be paying for product.
Okay.
So, and I'll look and see what that will be, but I'll let you know. We'll do that in the spring sometime, hopefully around stock shows and everything else.
Right, right. Well, luckily I don't have to do stock shows this year because, our barn did burn down. So we're in the process of rebuilding all of that. And most of our animals are just county, but we do have a few going to majors, but they're on their own this year. So unless they absolutely need us. So
Right. Yeah, I understand that. Um, so we are going to do one over the principles and elements and how to teach those. Um, have you done anything for pricing?
not yet. That was kind of my next adventure to kind of break into because we've made all these, but we're going to sell them as a fundraiser to help fund the class and buy product for the classroom because I have like no budget.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, "Well, you can do this. It's fine." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I was like, "Well, we're designing them this week, and then we're gonna sell them and see. Okay, was this the right price point or how it kind of broke out?"
Okay. I actually have to record like a pricing how-to tomorrow for my kids because that's what they're gonna do while I'm gone for the next few days. Do you want me
Okay,
to send you the YouTube link for that on like the how to do the pricing?
absolutely.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
And then let's see what else. Let me pull up my calendar on things that you can. My desk is horrendously messy.
No, you're good. I had a list somewhere on my desk too about the kind of how we planned our year.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure where I put it. Our desk should not be this bad, this quick.
Right here, the one thing that's not in my crazy stack. Okay. Did you do safety?
I have not done safety yet.
Okay, so you might consider doing a safety unit. I don't know if ICEV has one.
Okay.
Let me look real quick. It's been a while since I've looked at ICEV stuff.
Oh, I agree. I like ICEV, but then I don't. Like, there's a few things that I'm like, yes, absolutely love. And then some of them are like, there's way too much to get covered.
Uh-huh. I understand that, yes.
So,
Okay. I know that they're working on redoing their floral.
okay.
But it'll be a while before it's all done because they contacted me the other day to do a one on over homecoming moms.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I am not seeing anyone. Do you have a floral textbook?
I do not. I have nothing.
You have nothing. Okay.
So the only thing that I have is I bought this $60-$70 thing off of Teachers Pay Teachers, and it had some safety stuff, but now I can't find it. Um, she has like a Christmas Day tacky sweater that they designed on paper, which I thought that was kind of a neat deal, just because it was cheap and easy, especially whenever you don't have a budget.
Uh-huh. I
Um,
understand that.
I did talk to Christy Keys, and she said start with wiring flowers and kind of incorporate that into your safety. So I'm
Mhm.
waiting on a PO to get back so I can buy all the wire and the wire cutters and everything.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. Um, let me see. And you did homecoming.
homecoming came quick this year, so I was like, let's just knock and we didn't actually make mums, we made the mums that go around the Stanley Cups.
Mm-hmm. Those
That
are
way
fun.
they're like, we didn't actually take away from our mum that we've ordered.
That's a great idea. And you can still teach all the basics.
Right, right.
Or tool ID. Have you done tool ID?
We've kind of did Tool and the floral ID at the same time.
Okay.
But I was trying to do Tool ID whenever I actually, had the tools and be like, hey, this is how it works.
Uh-huh. Let's see. I'm going through my list of how I've got everything ordered. Parts of a flower.
I have that printed off next and that one was actually on ICEV.
Okay. Um,
Do y'all actually dissect the flowers to see inside?
Sometimes,
Okay.
not always. Like this year I didn't because I was lazy and didn't want to go buy them. Sometimes though. This year I just had them like I made them make a 3D flower. Let me get one. Hang on. Oh, this one's junk. Let me get a different one. Sounds pretty good.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, so they have to cut out the petals, and we just used wire, and they hot glued, made like a little lasso shape with a circle on the end of the wire. And they just hot glued that in the middle to give it a little bit of shape and be able to
Right.
bend it. And then, so we went over the parts of the flower. Then they had to practice floral taping. And so they had to floral tape all their stems, and then they also had to label everything.
Okay. So that way they learn how to use the wire and the floral tape.
And they're practicing ID. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think we're gonna try to make these little pins. We made them in Hereford. So
Mhm.
we could kind of do that and that together.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yep. You could even do a tissue paper flower on the end of it if you didn't want to do duct tape too,
Oh, smart.
because sometimes that's a little cheaper than duct tape.
Where did you get all the floral tape from?
I got mine from my wholesaler, so you should be able to get some at J and E Wholesale in Amarillo.
Okay, J and E.
Uh-huh. And I think there's also one in Amarillo called Sooners.
Like Go Sooners,
Mhm.
SOONER?
SOONERS.
Okay.
I think those are your two wholesalers.
Okay.
And do y'all have a flower shop in town?
We have 2 actually.
So they're going to be delivering there anyways.
Okay.
And so you may be able to talk them into either dropping off at one of those flower shops for you or bringing it straight to the school.
Okay. That works. Yeah, because
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't even know where to order any of this stuff from.
Yeah. So that's where I would get all of your floral supplies and fresh flowers. That's where you're going to get the cheapest.
Okay. I will have to do some research on those.
And when I do it, I put in a like a blanket PO instead of just a one-time PO. So see if they'll let you do that, kind of like you would for welding, like going to get more metal throughout the year.
Right, right.
Um, that makes it a little bit easier, so I don't have to send one in every month.
Yes. Kind of an open PO.
Uh-huh. Let's see here. For my kids' first flower arrangement, we do little bitty, like, you know, like the punch cups when you go to something and it's like the tiny little, they're kind of like shaped like this,
Yes.
plastic ones. You can get those at Dollar Tree for like 10 for a dollar. And I usually do those with some floral foam. And then all I get is leatherleaf fern and spray chrysanthemums. And each kid gets like one stem of a chrysanthemum. Oh, and solidago. One stem of solidago and leatherleaf fern. And we just make a tiny little bitty circular arrangement, but we go over like placement and things like that. But it's about the cheapest you can make and they're going to shred everything the first time they make something.
Yes,
So I
yes.
don't give them anything expensive the first time they make something.
Well, and they have some fresh flowers at Dollar General here, so I grabbed some today, and I'm like, "Why are there petals all over?" So, and I'm like, "You know, you're not supposed to be touching the petals, right?" And the kids are like, "No." So,
Yes.
okay. So, and then you can get all of the floral foam and all of that at the J&E, right?
Yes. But
Okay.
know that it comes in a box of 48 bricks.
Yes.
So here in Lubbock, it's like $68 for a box. But that box lasts us quite a while because typically you only use it in a third of a block section.
Okay. Okay.
So you cut each block into 3 pieces, and so you get a bunch of floral foam out of it.
Okay, perfect. Because I got 24 kids, so
Yeah. Yeah, it would go for quite a while.
okay.
And it stores well. Oh, and then on those little cups, I let them paint them. And I'm like, you can paint it whatever you want, Halloweenish themed or fall themed.
Okay.
And then I just let them paint it on the outside. We put the arrangement out of the top, call it a day.
So it's almost like a homemade pot.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Make it easy.
Uh-huh. Now you do have to be careful if they go to try to like shove their foam down in those super cheap little cups, they'll split the side of the cup.
Yes.
So get some extras just in case.
Okay.
I always tell them like you got to be careful with it. If you split it, then you get one that's not painted.
Right,
And I
right.
don't care. Um okay, so after my kids make something, I have them do a portfolio write-up.
Yes.
And I do that. I'm going to show you. I'm going to see if I can pull this up and show you on, it's called Artsonia. I'm trying to figure out how I can show you without it being me showing you all of my kids' stuff too. Who could I pull up? I need a senior that already graduated. So give me just a second.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got 2 computers going.
No, you're good.
Okay, here we go. Let me share it. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
So this is a website called Artsonia. And Artsonia is a website that was designed for floral design or not for floral teachers, for art teachers to allow them to be able to put kids' portfolios and like develop a portfolio for kids online. And it meets all of the FERPA regulations. So you don't have to worry about like having a kid's name posted on the internet or anything like that.
Right.
It only actually shows the kids' stuff if their parent has agreed and approved. So like your parent has to go in and connect and say, yes, this can be shown on the internet.
Okay.
Otherwise, it keeps it confidential, but it still allows you to be able to see it. And then, do you use Classroom, like Google?
No, we are a Teams campus. We're all Microsoft.
Okay, it may work with Teams as well. They've got it to where it'll connect with several of the different Classroom sites.
Okay.
Um,
And the kids can keep these until they graduate or after they graduate?
after they graduate, it doesn't go away, which is why
Okay.
I switched over to this, because I would have kids that were calling me like right after they graduated and they're like, hey, I'm trying to get a job and my portfolio pictures are gone. And I'm like, you're right. They are. You just graduated and lost your account.
Well, and see what I was gonna do for my kids was just have them take a picture and then print everything out and get them laminated and
Yeah.
then make it like an actual book out of it.
Yeah.
But
And you
this
can
is
do that
easier.
too.
Okay.
For me, this was easier because I don't want to print this many.
Well, and it's right there all in the same spot. Are those
Uh-huh.
cookies that y'all made?
Yeah. So do y'all have a culinary teacher or anybody that does like FCS?
We do not. They kinda absorb the FCS position. There's a
Oh.
couple classes that are taught under the healthcare.
Or do you have life skills or anybody like that that would have the kitchen area?
No, but I have a stove and everything in in the shop.
Okay, so yes, they're cookie bouquets. We do this with our culinary group.
Okay.
And he has his kids bake all the cookies, but you bake it with the stick inside of it. You
Okay.
have to cut the cookie pretty thick. And we're doing this year we usually did it for Valentine's Day the last several years because I don't want to pay the price of Valentine's Day flowers.
Right.
Um, and then the next day, so he cooks them, and then we do this, which I've got 80-minute class periods, so you could do it over a couple days. You go through how to like frost them and keep your colors and everything as simple as possible. Like we got to where we only did circles and hearts. And then we would give them the option of like red, pink, or white icing. And then you don't have to worry about them fighting over it. It's much easier cleanup, all that.
Right, right.
And then, so you go through, this is how you ice a cookie. And we kept it really simple. We just did royal icing. A royal icing recipe is really easy. And then they have to sit up overnight. And then I went through how to put it together in one of these bouquets. I didn't use a container at all. It's just the dry floral foam, a third of a block of dry floral foam that all I did was wrap tissue paper around it at the bottom and then tied it off with curling ribbon. And then we did it where every kid got 5 cookies, and we did some bigger cookies and smaller cookies so you could see like weight difference and kind of like balance it.
Right, right.
And then just wrap it with cellophane. We also did like little tissue paper. I call them tissue paper flags, but you know how when you put tissue paper down into like a package for birthdays and you kind of fold it up?
Right,
But you
right.
kind of make little squares and fold it up like that, and it like glue with like regular Elmer's white glue, a toothpick at the bottom in the center, and then it kind of fluffs up. And then you can use those toothpicks to put in and cover your foam like you would for like leatherleaf fern or any type of a filler to cover that foam up.
Okay. And that would be a lot cheaper than doing like a candy bar bouquet with Cokes and whatnot.
So I've done that candy bar bouquet too. Usually when I do that, I do a can of Coke, and then you hot glue a third of a block of foam on top of it. And then I would have them put, like, we did small candies, like the little miniature tiny ones
Yes.
on toothpicks, and then would stick those on it and then do the same little toothpick flag thing with the tissue paper coming off and put that all around it.
Okay.
And then it's one piece and you don't have to have like a container or anything like that.
Right.
The
You
Coke
could
is
almost
like
do
the
like the miniature Cokes too, couldn't you, with the mini candies?
Oh yeah.
Or does it work better with the big Coke?
Um, I think you could make the miniature one work. You're just gonna have a pretty tiny little piece of foam.
Right, right. So I'm trying to think of cheaper ways, and the kids, that's what they had decided they wanted to do for instead of doing flowers, they wanted to do something, but I didn't even think of the cookie idea either. So
Yeah.
we may have to revisit that too.
Sometimes I do both. Like I'll do one at Valentine's Day and one at Mother's Day.
Oh, I forgot about Mother's Day. I was even thinking like the green for St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, you could do that too.
okay. There's so many ideas and stuff.
Yep. So when I teach, let's see, that pretty much brings me up to when I teach elements and principles. Which, if are you going to come to that one? Those two?
I'm going to try. They're in my calendar. I don't think I have anything on those dates except for November 11th, but we should be done by 4. So,
Okay. If not, we'll record it.
okay.
But I usually teach like one element or one principle a day until we go through all of them.
Okay.
Instead of just doing like, here's a big blotch set of it, I kind of spread it out.
And does ICEV have that?
I'm sure they do. I've got it up here. Let me look. Yeah, they do.
Okay. Because I don't even know where to start for half of this stuff. I'm like, we're just going to wing it and go with it, right?
Yeah, so they have a vocabulary handout. They've got a couple activities. They've got a project. I'm not seeing notes, like a
It's a
PowerPoint,
video.
but there is a video.
Okay. Well, and I'm sure there's more stuff that we can do with the Teachers Pay Teachers too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's see here.
you should start putting some of your stuff up there.
I want to. My stuff is currently tied up because they're releasing the level 2 for TSFA.
Uh-huh.
And so half of my stuff is tied up in that at the moment.
Okay.
So that should hopefully be out soon. And then I want to do an addendum on theirs and beef it up because it needs a lot.
I would say if you need help, let me know, but I know nothing. I can help proof it and make sure it's okay for me to understand.
I understand that. Let's see, right before Christmas, I usually make the kids research the Tournament of Roses parade because it's one of the biggest floral events in the country / world. It's huge.
And do you make them do a project over that?
You can if you have time. Some people have done like little cardboard boxes where they have to make a float, and you could even take them out and make them do like a foraged float where they have to go out and pick up different things and leaves and stuff to cover. Whew. Let's see, when we come back from Christmas, that's when I do the TSFA knowledge-based test because I want it done and out of the way. And so we do about a week and a half of study and review over what those vocabulary words are. because it's primarily just a vocabulary test.
And where do you find that at?
It's on their website.
Okay.
So let me pull it up and I will show you.
And is it a IBC?
Yes.
Okay. I've never heard of that one, so this isn't I haven't looked at everything that Floral Design offers.
Yeah, so here's their website. And if you go to the teachers tab, so on the teachers tab, they've got their level 1 design certification testing in person, but then you can also do it virtually where you didn't have to travel to Lubbock to test them.
Okay.
Um,
And that's something I can do, or it's something the kids can do?
the hands-on portion, it would be the kids would do it, would take the test. You would
Okay.
proctor it.
Okay.
But until you've like seen it and done it in person, I probably wouldn't tackle it. But you could for sure do the knowledge-based portion, which they get an IBC for just the knowledge-based portion.
Okay.
And then the full level 1 is the knowledge-based portion plus the hands-on portion. They have to pass both to get it.
And do they have an age limit on that? Because most of my kids right now are freshmen.
I don't think so, as long as they're enrolled in the class.
Okay.
So on their website, they've got the study guide, and it's essentially, oh, I've got to switch. I'm looking at the study guide, but you are not. So let me switch. And then here's the study guide, and it's essentially just vocabulary words, and it's a vocabulary test. Now it is about 100 questions, but it's online. When you register them, you just send the registration information to Carol at the TSFA office, and she'll get them registered and send you the link, and the kids just log in and take the test.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. And I think there's already stuff on like Quizlet and Kahoot already done on the study guide for this. Somebody else wants to join. Fallon wants to join. Hey, Fallon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry. I just forgot that it was today and
No, you're good. We just have Becca. She's from Canadian.
Howdy.
I actually called Fallon. I was like, I need help.
Oh, hey, Becca, it's you. Sorry, I'm driving, so I didn't even see what Becca you were talking about. Hey, girl.
Oh, you're good.
Yep. So we were just going over kind of like a year at a glance to give her some ideas of things to teach.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does it differently, so it's difficult, and you got to figure out what works best for you and your kids and your community and your school, and also what you feel like your kids need more of. Like, I hate teaching history, so I don't spend that much time on it. I teach it, but I don't spend like forever on it. So I think it just, I don't know. It also depends on when homecoming falls is how other units fall. So that I've never taught floral the same way, and I've taught floral for 6 years now. So you kind of got to play it by ear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So we were just talking about studying for level 1 certification tests for TSFA. I was talking to her just about the knowledge-based test and said maybe wait till next year to do the hands-on portion.
Yeah, for sure. This is probably bad and a no-no, but we only do knowledge-based. And we're trying to add the hands-on for the kids. Like, they have to do knowledge-based in Floral 1, and then when they get to advanced and practicum, they have to take the hands-on. Even though for CCMR, like, and for you to like turn your light bulb on, all you really need is your knowledge base, because that counts But if you want your kids to be better and to provide more for your kids and to really get them industry ready, they need to do that hands-on. So I've just had some really wonky years, so I haven't offered that, but I've at least done the knowledge base. So I have my CCMR light on and my CT director is happy. So
And that's the important part.
yes, for sure. And I will tell you the best way to study for that, or like for the kids to study, there's a practice exam. I don't remember if TSFA made it or what, but I know there's a practice exam. And then my kids love like the Blooket, the quizzes, the Kahoots. There's just a million out there. So we just do those. And I have mine take it in May as their final. And so I know some people do it in December. I think it just depends on how comfortable you are with floral and when you want to offer it. So there's no right or wrong, I will say. So I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you do? And how should it be done? You got to do whatever works for you. So.
Yep. So after I teach that, because I was telling her I teach mine in January because we do our hands-on test in March.
Yep.
And I want some time to be able to retest kids.
Absolutely.
This year I'm changing up how I'm teaching care and handling, and I'm going to go back and teach like biology of a plant and how plants work first.
Oh yeah.
I don't usually delve that deep into it, but I think it'll make, when we talk about care and handling, and this is why we do these things, because this is how a plant works.
Yeah, I touch briefly on like parts of a flower, pollination, and growing, but that's a good idea to put it with care and handling because, again, that's how it works. That makes a lot of sense. And I think for a kid to understand that totally makes sense to them.
Yeah, so I teach the parts of a flower early because I teach that before I want to do my first floral arrangement. So when I say, hey, cut below the calyx, they know where that is.
Yeah, same.
But I think we're going to go back and then revisit it and delve deeper and go into like, this is what xylem and phloem are, and this is why we have to treat the water this way. And
yes, I love that idea because I was just fixing to start care and handling this week. We didn't have school today for Columbus Day or whatever, and so I was fixing to start care and handling because we're going to do our first arrangement the week of Halloween, and so that might be a good idea to like refocus on that again. That's a good idea. Good job, Cassie.
Thanks. That's why we're here, because I want
to and I love that. Right. Well, and I love that you're doing this, especially like the principles and elements that you're going to do in a couple weeks, because I feel like that's the most important unit to teach, but it's also the hardest to teach because it's like some of it's not a tangible thing that you can like, and so it's hard for the kids, even though it's the most important one and why we design and do the way we do things. But I'm glad you're doing this, and I feel like this needs to be done, like doing these little things, and I know it takes time to set it up and host it, but this would be good to do like yearly, especially even for us that have been doing it for a while.
I agree. So we're gonna do a couple more this year too.
Sweet,
over some different topics.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I thought that'd be fun.
And Becca, this is the only way I've learned is literally talking to Cassie, talking to people that have been doing it, getting on the floral teacher page, the ag teacher page, borrowing and stealing from literally everybody. This is probably bad. I've rarely made anything myself because I've borrowed from so many people and pieced stuff together. And then once I know the curriculum, which it's taken me 5 or 6 years to really get to know everything and how to do it all. And I still don't know everything, but to be comfortable enough to be like, oh, I don't want to do this lesson, but I could change it up and do something different. Or, hey, I really think we need to focus more on this or that. And so, yeah, I think just making sure, you cover your basics and figure out what works for you. And after you go through this year, you'll be like, okay, I don't ever want to do this lesson again, but okay, I think I need to do this or that.
I like this part of it, but I'm definitely changing it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think when it comes to designing, like you know more than your kids, so don't stress out about that. I was such a worrywart and like was so worried about like making sure it looked great, and every design walking out of my room had to look awesome and stuff, and how am I going to grade it, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to do that? Like I just like there was so much that I'm like, they don't know more than I do. So it's like it's okay. And as long as there's flowers walking out of your room, it doesn't matter. Like that's what they want to see. That's what your school wants to see. That's what your kids want to see. They want to play with flowers. They want to smell flowers. They want to have them in their hands and take them home, no matter what they look like.
So for your classes to have flowers, do y'all do like a class-based fee that they have to pay so they can keep them, or how do y'all handle that situation?
So I don't, my district doesn't allow me to charge a fee because my entire district, and we've got a large district, but we're 75% disadvantaged. And
Yep,
so almost
same.
almost every campus we have district wide is on free lunches.
Yep.
Um,
Samesies.
yeah. So, um,
I just go cheap, like as cheap as I can. They don't get roses or really nice flowers until advanced because I can't afford it. And I try to do like Dollar Tree, Amazon, Walmart, Oriental Trading for like containers, or they get to use the damn Green Oasis bowl for every single damn thing. But even those are getting too costly because I just bought a
Right.
box and I was like, I about stroked. So I also use the little snack cups from like Hobby Lobby or Amazon. Those are super cheap. Or I get my culinary department to do like the metal cans from soup or veggies. You can get super cheap, like real cheap. Or the little metal like tins that you can get them at Walmart or Dollar Tree in like the holiday birthday section. They come in different colors. You could spray paint them. But yeah, I just bought cheap little plastic cups for Halloween from Dollar Tree today. There was like 4 cups for $1.25. So, and I bought 100 of them. So,
yep, I do that too.
And
Yeah.
do y'all order
Yeah.
straight from Dollar Tree, or do y'all go to the stores?
Both.
Both.
Both. Yeah. You can get online and do the oh my God, sales tax. And get, they have a code that they would want you to get. So you have to like make an account with them and fill out the sales tax, and then they'll give you a separate like number with a barcode, and that's what you'll use either online or in store to get the sales tax taken off. So super easy for sure. But
What is y'all's budget for this?
Well, so I'm in a department of 4 teachers and we have $40,000. So technically I get 10, but I just keep putting POs in until they tell me no, and they haven't told me no. So so 10 technically, but I probably spend more than that.
So,
And then I also have a separate floral budget for my like our floral shop at school. So that's where I run my subscriptions through. And so that's separate.
yeah, so I have about 8,000, but I started with 1,500 for all of my classes when I was at Coronado many years ago. And so that was when I had like 8 different preps and everything else. And so we would do as many projects as we could that were as cheap as possible. I try to strive for like one hands-on-ish type project or one flower project a month, because that'll keep
Same.
their interest. If you go less than that, then they start to struggle on why am I in floral design if I don't ever see fresh flowers?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then my subscription goes into my activity account. You can run that where you charge money for it, or like as a fundraiser. I don't.
So what's the subscription? Like the floral of the month, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where you charge, like you pre-sell it. Like you're going to receive one arrangement a month for this many months. And you don't have to start out selling it for the whole year. You could do like, we're going to do this for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Valentine's Day. Or you could just do 3 months. I typically charge $15 per arrangement. And I only do wholesale. So I don't make any money off of mine because my goal is just to get more flowers in the kids' hands. It's not to make money on that one. And you typically, like if you sell it fairly cheap, then you're going to have more people purchase it.
Right.
So if you sell it for a fundraiser, you're going to have fewer people purchase it, but you'll make a little money. Your choice. People across the state do both. And there's
is
no wrong answer. It's just what works best for you.
Okay. And it's just 2 teachers, or do y'all go outside your community?
That's up to you. You can just do it to teachers. If for delivery, that makes delivery a lot easier. You can also do it like I sell, other people can come pick up. They're welcome to purchase it, but I'm not delivering it. They're welcome to come pick it up in the front office.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I run mine too, Becca. I recently had just a couple like community, like our education foundation ladies, like reach out and they wanted to purchase this year. And I was like, okay, I guess because it's still with the school, I was like, I'm fine with that, but I'm not looking to go community wide. Just because I don't want this to be that big of a beast. I don't need that. I'm like, there's local florists for that kind of stuff. I'm just here, like you said, to get experience with our kids, learning how to do orders and different things and getting flowers in their hands, and providing that, as an extra thing for our advanced kids and not typically as like a fundraiser or anything. So,
Okay.
You could
Yeah.
also offer it to your kids' parents because occasionally I do have a kid's parent that's like, I would buy one.
Right.
And their kid can make one and take it home, but otherwise the kids don't get to take it home.
yeah, at least for the subscription, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Becca, don't feel like you have to like add that on this year. If you're just starting floral, like give it a year or 2, maybe 3. Like
Well,
it can be a beast. So I'm like, I just know it can be very overwhelming. And like I'm constantly having to basically plan for 3 different arrangements a month because I have regular floral, advanced floral, and subscription. And so I'm having to plan for 3 different arrangements every single month. So it can be very daunting as you first are starting if you have a lot to plan for and knowing like you have more than one prep.
right. Well, and our thing is we have $10,000 between me and the shop teacher. And
Ouch.
so I'm like, well, where I don't know what to do. So
I think that's going to
How
come
many-
down to a conversation between you and the shop teacher.
For
well,
sure.
I mean, as of right now, and then plus the 6 other preps that I teach, we're already out of budget money. So I'm like, and it's barely October.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would try to see if you could get like donations or like at Christmas you can get Christmas clippings typically from, people selling Christmas trees and that's free.
I've also been known to go around town and be like, hi, my name's so-and-so. Can I trim your bush?
Yes. I was just gonna say that. Like, go to Home Depot and Jack Winterow has a list of plants that you should keep planted at all times at your school so that you have greenery or filler or whatever. And like that would be another way that you could cheaply and easily have stuff accessible to make arrangements too. That's another good idea.
okay. So kind
for
of like a
sure.
garden.
Yes, like yeah. So like he's got a whole list of things that he to plant or whatever. But you can still do a lot of hands-on stuff, maybe just not with fresh flowers. And you could do paper flowers, you could do silk flowers. I think it just depends on trying to stretch what you have left.
You could also send out an email or even post something. Do y'all have a local newspaper?
Kind of, sorta. I don't know if they actually print paper anymore, but
Well, still, people are reading it. The people you need are reading it. So send a message out with them saying that you are looking for any type of old silk flowers that they don't want around their house anymore, and you're taking donations of that.
Okay.
And you'll end up with a bunch that way too, and you can use that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Got a good start now.
Rebecca, did you come to the at Ag Teachers Conference, the basics for newbies class? I can't remember what it was called.
Yes, I did.
Did you get the PowerPoint from that one where it had all the links to the different ones?
I think so. Let me see. I there was a lot of stuff I could and couldn't access it because I was still at Hereford. And so my account from Hereford is now like I never was there. So
Okay,
Oh no.
let me pull it up and I'll send it back. I'll put it in the chat box real quick so you can grab it.
okay. I want to
Hey
say
Becca, holler if you need anything. I've got to go pick up my kiddo, guys, so I hate to run, but y'all let me know if y'all need anything. I'm glad you're doing this, Cassie, and I look forward to your other Google Meets.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye y'all.
bye.
Okay, I've got the link. Hang on. I've got to get over to the right deal. Message. It's been okay. I feel like it's been forever since I have, like used a Google Meet, which is, it's nice.
Right.
But they've changed everything up. So I'm like, okay, where is the
I
chat
noticed
box?
that. I'm like, this isn't the same thing.
Raise hand. Nope. Send a reaction. Oh, it's over here underneath that stupid little, I had a little message pop up that came up. Okay, there's the link. Open that up and make sure that works for you.
Hey, looky there. I did not go to this one. This is a brand new, yeah, I did not go to this one. So
Yeah, this should help because there's links at the end to a lot of stuff.
Oh, and tool design. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he started out going over some of the tools, and then it's got like a course outline, a syllabus, oh, here's one of those, this is things that we need, so things you could send out.
Oh,
So you can
I
copy
needed
that.
this. Yes. Oh my gosh, you just
Whole-
made my life so much easier.
Good wholesaler list, and I added J&E on that one. I don't think I added Sooners because I forgot about them at that point.
Okay.
Some design recipes, startup tools that you might need, fresh product lists, like how many come in a bunch.
Okay.
A grading rubric, safety and tool ID, PowerPoint, safety test, parts of a flower, elements of design, principles of design. And we'll talk about this, but on the elements and principles of design, I highly recommend paying the $96 to be a TSFA member.
Okay.
A, their courses are cheaper if you decide to go to something, but B, they have a video made for each of the elements and principles of design that is fabulous. And it essentially, like, I usually let those teach each one for me. And so we'll watch the video, we'll talk about it, but he does a great job of like explaining what it looks like and what it means. There's color wheel presentation.
So is this something that could be part of like the curriculum? Could this be like the curriculum stuff? Or how do you pay for it? Do you pay for it on your own or does your district pay for it?
I usually pay for it on my own,
Okay.
but you might be able to talk your district into it
Okay.
because you can get the curriculum cheaper that way too, as well.
Okay.
So.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, all right. Well, let me know if you have any other questions or you have something that comes up.
Okay.
Do you have my email?
I do. I've got your phone number too. So
Perfect. Use
I
it.
don't know why I never thought of you. All I thought was, well, Fallon knows. So-
Yeah, no, use it. Call. I have a passion for helping teachers. So that's why everybody was like, well, are you going to charge for this? I was like, no. I have begged, borrowed, and stolen everything I've gotten.
That's the part that makes us great teachers.
So,
So, I feel like I'm just BSing my whole way through this this semester. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel that way too sometimes.
Yeah.
So
And so, okay, well, this is a great start. I think we will start with some safety tips and build our own flowers, and then we'll go from there.
awesome.
So,
That sounds perfect.
alrighty. Well, I appreciate it, Cassie.
Anytime. Talk to you
If
later.
you do one of these in person, let me know.
Well, I thought about that and then I was like, let's just do virtual for now because then I thought we
Yes.
might have more people.
Right, right.
But yeah.
Well, and I may be the only beginner there is, so I don't
No,
know.
there were several.
There were.
Yes. I had a whole bunch of people that were like, oh, I need this.
Well, it was a good start anyway.
Yep.
So,
So.
well, we'll see you again here in a couple of weeks, and then I'll learn more.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.